everyone, and welcome to the Transformation Triumph Summit. My name is Jamie Allen Bishop, one of your hosts for this event. I am so honored and excited to introduce these authors with their special wisdom and insights to share. I imagine that you're here because one of the topics appealed to you, or perhaps you're on a transformation journey of your own. I welcome you to enjoy, listen, observe, and take away some of the insights that these authors are sharing so that you can streamline your transformation triumphs. And now, here's more about each of our authors.
Hi, Jamie. I love when we get together, and it's always fun when it's just us and we can talk forever, but we have an agenda today. And our agenda is to introduce you as an author, dang it, in the book, Transformation Triumphs. And so I'm excited that I get to read a little bit of your bio and then listen to you share a little bit. So with no further ado, Jamie Allen Bishop's an international best-selling author. For those who don't know, this is her second compilation that she can share on. Speaker, and I can't even tell you how many speaker engagements and where, because everywhere. God love the internet that way, and all the different platforms that you have been on and hosted and been hosted on. Dedicated to transforming struggling entrepreneurs into thriving success stories with the power of social media. With a track record of excellence, she has helped 100% of her clients achieve growth and traction in their businesses. Not just growth, but traction, because you can spin your wheels. So let's talk on that maybe a little bit. I appreciate that big time. Jamie's expertise lies in guiding aspiring entrepreneurs to cultivate a growth mindset, master time management on social media platforms, build strong support networks, and chart their path to prosperity. Her laser coaching program unlocks the secrets to building a rock-solid foundation for launching a positive impact in the world. Connect with Jamie on social media using the different hashtags, and she'll share that at the end. So huge that way. Yay! I love that bio. Big time.
Thank you. Little twists and turns, adjustments made a big difference for me.
It's awesome. Growth and traction. I want to take us there first, even though I know that that's not our subject, but growth and traction. Share.
Traction. So growth is great, and we can measure growth through views, through likes, through engagement, through all kinds of like number methods. But when it comes to traction, the only thing that we can measure is the results. And when somebody's getting results, that's the real reason they're hiring a coach in the first place. So great to have followers, great to have people liking and engaging with your stuff, but until you're actually creating an income, what's the point?
Yeah, dang, I like that big time. So what made you pull everybody together for a book this year? And by you all, just so you all know, this is not scripted. Jamie doesn't have a clue what I'm asking.
That's okay. We roll with it. So I really enjoyed being part of, it's called an anthology or compilation or whatever, however you refer to it, but it's many authors being part of one book. And I really enjoyed the process that I went through, and it was very enlightening for me. It was very much like an aha moment of facing the idea of A, being a storyteller, B, telling a really personal story that was very scary for me to tell, and then C, kind of getting the feedback from various and assorted people who read the book, and everything was positive. So it was mind-blowing and very inspiring and very like heartfelt experience to be part of it. And that was for the Women Living in Alignment series. What made me pull everybody together was because I had a great experience. As an author, it's wonderful to have a great experience. But another thing was the Powerful You publishing team. I really, really liked working with them. I felt like they had their stuff together. I felt like they provided so much beauty and material and education and editing and like they were so good about offering everything that they offered to what amounts to relatively new authors. I mean, it's one thing to write a chapter in a book. It's another thing to write an entire book all on your own. So the chapter in the book makes it so much easier to kind of jump in and be like, okay, this is me. This is what I have to say. So
I agree.
I felt like it was a good match with the retreat that we do annually. So
I agree. They were amazing. They are amazing, and the resources will go on beyond the book.
so beyond. It's honestly, you can tell the way that somebody conducts business how much of a good person they are. It's still business, so you still have to make business decisions, and sometimes business decisions are not fun to make, and they get you out of your comfort zone and all that kind of good stuff. But you can pretty much tell the heart of an individual in how they conduct business. And I just really love Sue and Kathy. So
yeah, good,
awesome,
Kathy. 100%. Transformation triumphs. And so Jamie and I have come together on these retreats for a few years now, and I absolutely feel I have a voice in the names, but I will say that I absolutely trust Jamie's intuition and her inner guidance when it comes to just making the concrete decision of this is it, Cheryl. And so you literally did this is it, Cheryl, on Transformation Triumphs. Yeah. Anything you can share on the name, why this is it, where it came from?
Great question. So Transformation Triumphs came from the idea of 2023, and bear with me if you're not into numerology. It's just a thing that it's a little side thing that I'm like, woo, that's so fascinating. That every single number has a vibration. And the vibration of the number 7, which is 2 plus 2 plus 3, 2000, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, right? Ends up being the number 7. 7 is a spiritual transformation year, but very few people grasp the concept of spiritual when it comes to transformation. They think, okay, this thing this really deep, I went through a health crisis, I went through a relationship crisis, I went through some sort of big upheaval in my life, and it does create a spiritual transformation, but nobody grasps that concept until they go through it, right? So to me, the idea of spiritual transformation is very much hand in hand with personal transformation. And that spiritual transformation is kind of the bridge, to me, between the personal development world and the professional development world. It's that spirit. How do they connect? And that spiritual transformation is part of it. So that number, the 2023, which is this year, which is why we came up with that transformation was kind of the key. And then, of course, the alliteration of the T was like, what can we put with transformation that might, create some excitement and happiness? Because transformation can be hard and difficult. It can be. It doesn't always have to be, but it can be a little bit of a struggle. So how do we come out of that struggle better, more educated, happier, healthier, more powerful than we went into it? So that was how we came up with Transformation Triumphs.
That's awesome, actually, because I knew about the numerology, but I didn't know where the triumphs came from until just now. So the TT, so that's perfect. So that is awesome. I appreciate that. So that being said, transformation. What does transformation mean to you, and what does a triumph mean to you?
So I kind of, I love this question, and we've asked I think every single author this question. Yes. But to me, the idea of transformation is, when we grow up having certain, and I'm going to say the result, because the result is what we end up kind of focusing on, which is we have reactions to and results from various and assorted experiences in life. For example, maybe you have a spouse who has agreed that their only thing is or one of their chores is to take the trash out, right? And every time they don't take the trash out, it's like, oh God, what are you doing? You're so, and then we get into this scenario in our head, maybe from childhood, maybe not, maybe just from frustration, where we're saying these things that may be not so healthy, not so helpful. Maybe it's nagging them, like, can't you ever do your only chore? Or, I'm just trying to think of exactly the way to explain it. But a transformation happens when we realize that what we're currently doing is not working, or it's not serving the highest good of all involved. So rather than focus on, can't you just take the trash out, or you're so lazy you can't take the trash out, or whatever bad things, the nagging things that we have a tendency to go to, maybe we say, hey, I really appreciate that you brought me tea tonight. Maybe you go to, I really appreciate that you ran the dishes through the, rinse them off. Maybe you go to the place where, and it's, to me, it's just this like awareness that what you focus on is what you're going to get more of. So if you want more of being lazy and not taking the trash out, then by all means, keep focusing on that. But if what you want is somebody to take the trash out, then start praising all the things that they are doing, because they transform, and all you've done is changed your way of looking at it. So to me, transformation is when we go to that place where our normal reaction ends up being something different than we've always done in the past. And it can be this place where we're like, wow, that actually worked. That's really cool. That's really amazing that just some different words or different approach can make that much of a difference in our lives.
It's the shedding of the habits, maybe the shedding of the things that we get used to putting out there.
I want to say more reaction, because we do grow up having reactions and being enabled by certain reactions. Maybe, I'm thinking of like a child that might have gotten what they wanted because they threw a temper tantrum, and the parent just wanted them to be quiet because it was embarrassing and nobody wanted to experience that in that moment. But they grow up kind of receiving that confirmation over and over and over that throwing a temper tantrum is going to get them what they want, because you know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
then all of a sudden in their life, somewhere down the line, something happens, and it could be a catalyst. It could be just a aha awareness, like, oh, well, maybe if I don't throw a tantrum, I'll still get what I want, and it'll be much smoother and easier and more peaceful for everybody involved. And so they shift that little thing within them to create this other reaction, but it's really getting them the same results that they. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, 100%. And it feels better to the person. It feels better to the one giving it too.
It feels better to everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
It's more cohesive, it's more peaceful, it's more joyful. The whole transaction ends up being a beautiful experience. And while I probably personally would be bored out of my mind if that was the only experience that I ever had in the world, I enjoy a little bit of debate. I enjoy a little bit of action and of reaction. So thank goodness my husband knows this about me. But, there's time and place for those kind of things. And to me, transformation is when we're aware that we can do it a different way. And then all of a sudden we do it this different way, and it literally transforms how we do everything moving forward. And sometimes our perception of things that had happened in the past, where we may have felt victimized or taken advantage of or uncomfortable with things that happened in the past. And then all of a sudden we're like, holy cow, that was probably me. That was probably me allowing it, me behaving in a certain way that got that reaction from that person.
Awesome. I know we asked one of the other authors this, so I'm going to ask you as well. How do how do you help clients recognize that they're transforming?
Good question. You know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say one answer because the clients are on different levels and different perspectives at different stages in their personal and or business growth. So I think that what would probably be more helpful, and one of the reasons why one of the very first conversations that I have with clients is, what would you feel would be a self-sabotaging behavior? Because that's the trigger. That's when you're growing, you're this little seed in the soil, and your roots are growing and they're getting all firm and excited. But right before we break through the surface and become this beautiful whatever tree, let's just go with the tree scenario. Right before we break through the surface, we oftentimes go to that place of self-sabotage, because we are breaking through. We're reaching a different level. We're reaching something in our experience that doesn't feel safe. And so our brain literally chemically stops us. It creates the hormones, it creates the anxiety, it creates all of the things that keep us safe and under the surface so that we can't break through to become the big oak.
What a thought process, though. See, I mean, even for myself, if you had said, Cheryl, what's your self-sabotaging trait or whatever, I'd be like, Jamie, I want everything good for me. I'm not going to sabotage. So talk about a thought process there. It's huge. So yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah. Big time. Big time.
And we don't automatically think about that. So to have that be one of the very first conversations with a coach is a very sure sign that the coach sees your growth coming.
Yeah.
That the coach will see that you are capable of growing outside of whatever comfort zone you're currently living in, which is a good thing.
Huge. Well, let's face it, we're all going to face obstacles. I mean, it doesn't matter what path or journey we're on. And so not acknowledging that can be detrimental to everybody that way. Big time. Big time. Where can we find you?
Hashtag Jamie Allen Bishop is probably the best way. That the last like 2-3 years, I've been making sure that most of my posts have the hashtag associated with it. You can also go to jamieallenbishop.com, which is JamieAllenBishop.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for pulling us all together.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for saying yes.